security and cybersecurity threats. I'm sure you guys are aware of all the cybersecurity incidents that are going on worldwide. I used to work for Eon, Verizon, First Data, a bunch of all these companies. I was executive or technical person at one point. My career started off in the US at Bell Atlantic, which is now Verizon. It's similar to Deutsche Telecom, but I think on a whole nother level, 20 years in advance, what they do from IT to enterprise business, cloud service, network provider. And I came to Germany in 2008 with Weight Watchers, designing and building their data center, moving their business online. I was one of the guys that helped to bring their business from the office that you guys know about to the online business. So, I built their data center in Düsseldorf, and I decided to stay in Germany and offer my services. So I worked for EMI in Düsseldorf, Cologne actually, before they were bought by Universal. Now it's Universal Music. I did some work for UBS, Credit Suisse, and recently at Eon, helping them to design and build up their cybersecurity landscape organization. And I started a business with three venture capital partners. One of them is 12 before. What we do is we provide CISO as a service or security as a service. So we outsource a whole organization to companies that cannot afford security. So we come to you and discuss with you, help you from policy, compliance, architecture, infrastructure, and the cybersecurity side, which is monitoring, CERT, forensics. These companies, I think most of you know who they are. Yes, no, if by any chance you don't know, raise a hand. 2016, 2017, all these companies have been hacked. How many of you knew about that? What did you know about them being hacked? But not just customer data. Well, one of the biggest issues we have in cybersecurity today is awareness, understanding, brand awareness. Other companies don't spend money on cybersecurity because it's something that they don't want on the books. But you pay for it in money. You pay for it basically with your brand being tarnished, because I think that's the biggest thing. You guys are startups, you have a brand that you need to protect. And it happens every day. Every single day there's someone being hacked daily. These are the different types of threats landscape. So we have criminals basically out there every day, basically inside, working on inside, compromising your brand. Like a lot of things that I always teach companies when I go to them is always make your employees aware. I had a discussion earlier with Dennis from Beaufort about juice jacking. Do you guys know what juice jacking is? How many of you go to the airport and you charge your phone in one of those outlets? That's what juice jacking is. Basically, a hacker like myself would plant a malware in these devices. You plug your phone into charge, and then a malware is deposited on your phone, your iPad, your computer, and now I have access to all the data. I can now take control of your keyboard and your whole computer. This is like the biggest thing in the industry right now. So I'm just making you guys aware of it. You should tell your employees when you or your clients. Like Daniel was saying, we share information. When you go to the airport, use your own devices. Charge with your own cable. Don't plug into these devices because you don't know. And this is the biggest way. Right now, it's the #1 way of getting hacked in the industry, because it's a lot of people go to the airport, use the device, you go back to your company, plug your laptop in, I have access now to your servers because someone with the right credential use their phone or their device. The second part of it is like disruption of business activities. I know like how much money I know you guys are startup, but bigger companies. When I discuss with them, how much money do you lose when your business is not able to run? You know, like within an hour, 24 hours, 3 days, 4 days. You know, this is something that is important to your brand because it's also your customers get affected. Your business is not running. So if I bring on your server, your website, you know, like PayPal's been hacked many times. You know, you can't use it. If I go back one, Deutsche Bank. And how many of you had a Deutsche Bank account? Last year they had a problem where you had multiple transactions were made out of your account. And then they called you and said it was a customer service issue. It wasn't. It was a hack. They were hacked and they had to fix it. So this is an example of, you know, customers being affected, your brand, you know, but it's also about how you basically control. I can go into multiple different ways that all these customers have been hacked, or these brands have been hacked. Facebook has been hacked. Google has been hacked every day because there's a forum that I belong to. We collect trophies. You have to come back and show and provide data, what you hacked and how did you hack it, how did you get into it. And then the whole community then gives you a star. So this is also the good hackers. We call these guys the white hackers. There's the black hackers, but we use this information for studying and helping companies getting better and aware of what their holes or what their issues are so that they can fix it. The cybersecurity landscape, basically, as we were discussing, is a cost. You know, basically, the landscape is more about the events, how much does it, you know, I already talked about that, how much money it costs you. You know, sometimes if you don't have the money, most people don't do anything, but your business is affected, so now you have to pay to fix it. And then sometimes you have to, with the new GDPR laws, there's new compliance laws. I'm sure most of you know about GDPR also, because it's affecting all the business. This is also something that plays into that. You pay for not doing what you're supposed to do, so you end up paying more, you know, to fix it. $2.5 billion just last year. Between last year and 2019, will cost businesses from cybersecurity hacks. You know, a lot of the larger companies will have to pay 10% of their annual turnover worldwide, with a lot of the compliance laws put in place. So it is important as we have this discussion and I'm talking about it, for you guys to look at it. I know it's I was discussing with Benjamin. You guys are not at that same level. You guys are a startup, but it's more about awareness, understanding what issues that you can have and how you can put security around what you're doing. I believe that security is not about security. There's no such thing as security, because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as data privacy. It's all about awareness. Knowing, you know, there's tons of information out there. So you form a community. One of the things that I did when I was with Eon, I formed a community with the DAX 30. So you do information exchange. Everyone is attacked differently. Everyone finds a different way to solve it. So you share information. All you guys are startup companies. You should be looking at your products, you know, and how you develop them. Another thing that we know is copyright, but how many of you guys work with copyleft products? You know what copyleft is? It's the opposite of copyright. So you guys use a lot of open source platform tools to develop them. So there's products like HP has a product called Fortify, and there's another product called Sonatype. You scan your open source product, and before you even start developing them, to see what vulnerabilities they have. Because once you start developing it on it and it's copyleft, you sell that product, it's now open to anyone to use. It's not protected. So this is something for startups that they should be aware of. You know, they should look into the copyleft when they start developing their products. This is part of the reputation and the risk also. Critical part of companies' business, as we were discussing, most companies today are now being aware. I remember, like I was saying, when I first came here, it was, I believe in security, but no one did, you know, but it's now at the board level, senior management level, because of the compliance rules. It's at that, and so now it's being given the attention that it needs. It is needed. Compliance and regulatory is actually driving security now today in most countries. Safeguarding and protecting your property is something that we talked about. I think that is, knowing your own products, understanding how they work, understanding how they interact within the internet, looking for, doing vulnerability management checks. I'm not sure how many of you guys do that when you develop your product. Raise your hands. What products do you use to do your vulnerability management?
Good question. So we have a team that helps us with that. Sorry. We have a screening privacy team that helps us with processes and tools.
So okay.
We also have tools to scan.
So you're doing all the scans. So I only saw 4 hands out of maybe 80 people. And how many different companies I think are in here, So for me as a security person, I would love to just jump in. But the biggest issue in this process is vulnerabilities, because it goes back to what I was talking about with open source and vulnerabilities, because we develop on open source tools and there are certain patches that we, like he knows from the processes that he goes through, you have to always patch your applications and OS. And even if you patch it and you deploy it, with the tools that I talked about, like Sonotype, they work with Microsoft, to tell you, where your level of vulnerabilities are and how you can patch even when you deploy it in a safe way. And I think this is important part of this conversation for you guys. You should all, it doesn't take much. It's free service. You just put it in to the product and have it scan it, and it comes back with a report. It tells you all the vulnerabilities that it has. It tells you if it's copy left, copy right. I think this is an important tool for you guys. Another important thing that we were talking about is cybersecurity is not just about technology, it's about people and the process. When we say people, it goes back to the awareness that we were talking about. I know everyone here is aware about a lot of different things, but the most important part is remember there's no such thing as security. It's like Facebook, I had some conversation. I live in Germany, and everyone tells me datenschutz, data privacy. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're on the phone, you're on the iPhone, you're on Facebook, you're on Google. I have access to all your data. So does Google, Amazon. So it's not about that, it's about what you do with the information that you have. It's about basically knowing if you put something on you, as long as it's out there, it's accessible. I don't know if most of you know, Google has another platform that both the police departments, military and government agencies use. It's called Google Black. They're the ones that they basically bought a company called Postini, which is the security part of Google. And they're the ones that does all the virus filtering, that you don't have issues with your emails or your Google Mails. I don't know how many of you know about Postini. No. They keep all data on everyone. And it's easy for me as a security or IT person or even a company or police person that wants to know anything about you, just go to Pristini and they just basically, he can tell you where you were 2 minutes ago. So this is an important thing. It's about awareness. It's not about just, putting technology. It's also knowing what you put out there, which is important. The industry is growing. I think every day I get about 50 emails for a job, for someone looking to hire me. Because there's so much work in the industry, from the finance industry, you name it, IoT. Eon is an IoT company. They have power plants, they have lighting, they have, every company now wants to go into the Internet of Things digitalization. So how do you secure, I was having a conversation about, earlier, about Target. I know everybody knows about the Target hack. How did they get hacked? It wasn't through a regular computer network, it was through the IoT, it was through the air conditioning. Air condition was connected to the a computer was connected to the network, and someone basically knew that and they jumped. So, having, cars today are also part of the IoT world, like Bluetooth, they all have Bluetooth. I can be sitting on the street and I can take control of a car. I have an argument every day with all the telecommunication companies except for two. Sweden's telephone company and for Verizon. Everyone here uses GSM. GSM is the worst thing that you can use for cell phone, but everybody uses it. And also it's a bad way of dividing the network. If I have a scanner, I can go on to a GSM network and scan and listen to anyone's phone conversation. There's a thing called CDMA, which is a different technology. It's called division multiplexing. And the GSM is time division multiplexing. Also, one of the things that you notice if you're in a clustered area with too many people, the cell phone services don't work. Why is that? Because it's time division multiplexing. So if I have 100 people that can be in the network at the same time, and one more person comes in, they start kicking people out. And it's also the same way that we as hackers, we work backwards on the code. So GSM is not a secure thing. Talking about the 90% of the skills, the biggest issue in the industry also is about not having enough people who understand security, not having enough people with the experience, which is the biggest thing in the industry right now worldwide. There's a shortage of security professionals. There's a lot of you guys, but there's a few of us. And it's something tough to sell, really tough. It's like, as I explained, I get a lot of calls per day, but then when I talk to someone, they don't know what they want to do. That's the biggest issue also. A lot of people want to do security. They don't know what they have to do, how to do it, and where to find the right people. Huge issue, very huge issue in the industry today. And CISSP, I'm not sure if you guys know what a CISSP is. It's a Certified Information Security Professional. There's a few of us. Well, the real few of us. I think it changed, just like everything else changed. CISSP was very difficult to get. Now anybody can get it. And it's a few of us in the industry, and there's not enough jobs, to fulfill these requirements. Internet threats, new attack modes, need a new approach. So what I'm going here is basically I'm talking about all the things that I just started to talk about, like espionage. Basically, that's something more from a government perspective. where you have, like terrorism, like, I don't want to mention anonymous, but guys like those guys that are going around and doing this kind of stuff. Criminal activities, you have credit card theft, child pornography, copyright infringements, which we talked about. Spyware and unauthorized malware. I think the biggest thing that most of you guys know about is malware and spyware. Actually, that's the biggest way of attacking people. There was a Teresa virus a year ago, and DHL. I'm not sure if any of you guys were attacked by the DHL virus, where DHL virus is basically you get an email in your email and it says, you have a package, and you click on the link, and as soon as you click on it, there's an executable file that executes, and now I have planted a malware on your computer, and now I have access to your computer. This was a big thing in a lot of the huge companies and banks last year in Germany, and well, in Europe as a whole, because it's regional. A lot of viruses, a lot of threats is regional. So what attacks people in Germany or in Europe is a different type of virus, and it's executed differently in the US and also Asia. That's something important that you guys should know. Everything is regional. But that is also changing because you guys are getting smarter. So this is something that you need to be aware of also. Unauthorized disclosure of intellectual property. I think you guys know what that is. Worms, virus, malware, software, website. I think this is also becoming a big one. The websites being, defacement. I think that's important for you guys also to start up, because this is how you guys get attacked. From malicious software to the website, and also the pranks, because people take over your website. You have a developer who's pissed off at you that you didn't pay him, take control of your website, so these are things that you need to be aware of. Very important. We talked about vulnerabilities, finding vulnerabilities within your organizations. I think as you develop, you need to basically scan, always scan, rescan. As he said, it's the best way that when you put a software out there's no vulnerabilities, and you don't always have to continually deal with the brand deface. Microsoft. It's one of the biggest products that's being attacked every day. I think you guys know that. I don't need to go into this. These are some of the things. I don't know if you know what a zero-day attack is, guys. One. Yeah. So I only saw one or two people raise their hands. Basically, zero-day attack, right away. If I attack you, you're done. There's no tomorrow. Just consider your business over. So this is something that happens almost every day, and companies have like a hard time recovering from. And so what we try to do is be in a proactive mode, and you should always be in a proactive mode instead of a reactive mode in protecting your product, protecting your brand. The playground, which is the most important part. The internet is the perfect playground, like we were discussing. PayPal is, I think we had this thing about cryptocurrency. It's Bitcoins. You guys know about Bitcoins? It's the new thing, it's the best way to make money, hide your money, and do whatever you want. But there are guys like me, or guys like other guys, not me, but that are interested in your money, and we can use it to do different things. We do the same with, PayPal was recently hacked. People stole other people's credentials and spend their money on buying products. PayPal had to explain to their customers. As I said, there's no taxes, therefore no tax evasion. So I can take money and I don't have to pay tax. The government doesn't know anything about my Bitcoin. It's not, so These are basically very important things that you guys need to pay attention to. So, when I talk about what we need to do here is basically what I was discussing. We need to create centralized threat coordination. So, there's a lot of tools out there like VirusTotal that I think some of you guys may use. Anyone of you guys know about VirusTotal? Okay, VirusTotal is also a product that Google created. So it has all the hash values of every known bad URLs, bad worm, bad Trojan. So my forensic, people like me in the forensic world, we use this. I tend to use this because 90% of the world's threats or security attacks are unknown, 10% are unknown. So I use automate. I try to balance people and process because there's no money. So I try to balance, you know, when I go to an organization, I tell them, listen, you need to use the tools that are out there for free. So you can now take the hash value, put it into the website, and it'll tell you how bad this virus is, if you need to do something or not. Same with bad URLs, you know, when you have a web, you know, I know most of you guys don't have your own infrastructure, so you don't have firewalls, you don't have routers, you don't have proxies, but I will challenge you to challenge the people who host your stuff, you know, to do a run against, you know, do a vulnerability management scan against your environment. And you will find a lot of bad URLs, everything. And what you can do is basically go to either VirusTotal or Looking Glass. I'll show you that, but he didn't make me use my computer. It's we can have a discussion about that after. Looking Glass and VirusTotal, they have all the hash values and they show you all the cyber attacks. They have the maps of who's being attacked, when they're being attacked, how are they being attacked. It's really interesting. It's something I would put in my office every day so people can be aware. You know, it's like, it's running all the time. It's a dashboard that you can have. And it's very important. Sensor data repository. So this won't apply to you guys because, like I said, you guys don't own your own infrastructure. So you guys have developers, I ask them to write scripts. I would just ask them to write a script, which is a sensor to tell me when I see these kind of URLs, because what we're talking about is automated security. You know now 80% or 90% of the known bad things. So if you can automate, when you see something like this, you say, all right, I shut down this web link, or I create, in some cases, like I said, you have a outsource environment to someone else, or you're working with Amazon or whoever, you send them a ticket. I think you guys work with tickets, correct? I don't know how your environments are set up, but you should send a ticket to them saying, hey, I have this bad web link, it's attack, you know, it's defacing my website or whatever, and you ask them to work on it. This is what these sensor scripts are for, when you basically, because you know, you guys have a lot of developers, you can build this into your product. If you see any of these known hash values come in towards our data centers or application, shut it down. Block, you know, you create a block list. That's what we do with firewalls, routers, proxies. If you know, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a lot of machine-to-machine cybersecurity because I was explaining to Dennis earlier, forensics is my business. You know, a lot of people believe that if I deleted this or erased it, the data is gone. It's not gone. You can put a new OS on top of it. It's not gone. The only way to delete a disk is to freeze it, break it with a hammer, and then throw it in the bottom of the ocean. Otherwise, I can find everything on your disk. So, you know, this is what I train police departments or legal when I'm doing fraud investigation, if you go back, or pornography. you can find. You know, when you buy a hard drive, it's 500 gigs. No, it's not. It's actually 750. There's 150 when you delete. It's called the hidden sector of the disk that all this information goes into. So anything you do gets written to the disk. I'm going to skip through because I think I talked about most of this stuff. And I talked about everything else already throughout my thought. And basically it's to be optimistic, you know, consider your brand, develop expertise within the organization, and there's no excuse. And questions.
Thanks, Presley. Cool. All right, other questions?
First of all, I'm really scared now that I downloaded your presentation on my computer.
Hello, I have two questions for you. The first one, you said a little bit about how a diverse human state can mean different things, so diverse people can give a different meaning to security and also cyber attacks, and I want to know a little bit more of that. And then I discovered last year a company, a British company, called Detectify, and I wanted to know what you think about that company and those.
Now, second question first. I don't know that company, and I have to look them up to basically see what they're doing, and then I can give you an answer. But I don't judge anyone because there's totally a different way of doing things. I do things my way because I've been doing it since 1986. I might look this young, but I've been doing things differently for a long time. And it goes back to the last thing that I talked about. I believe in forensics, and most companies today are doing SIM. I don't know if you guys know what SIM are. It's a security information management system. So what they're doing is they're asking you to send all the security logs from your servers, your application, in one place, and then they're running analytics on it. Waste of time for me, waste of money. It was good 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. Companies don't have money today to collect data, store it, pay for storage, pay to train someone to learn how to do this. So that's why I go back to machine-to-machine communication. So if, like I was discussing, everything's on your phone. I know everything about you on your phone or your hard drive. I connect to that machine-to-machine, and I dump the information in a Big Brother tool, and I have all the information I need. Going to your other question, I'm trying to figure out how to go back to that. Security is just weird, you know. It's changing every day, and you know, today I can have an answer for something. So this is why I'm saying there's no such thing as security. Because once you fix something, somebody find a way to break it tomorrow. So it's all about understanding and being aware and knowing. Okay, also it's about risk. Because you need to identify the risk of your business and understand, okay, where do I take the risk? You know, where do I want to spend, or how do I want to secure, what do I want to secure? It depends on the type of business you're doing also, because if you have PCI data, or you know, personal identifier information, then you spend more security on that stuff. So this is how I approach it. Every business is different. You need to understand the business that you're doing security, and you know, and how to do security with them.
And I was referring to what you say when you say a diverse and talented workforce can be the difference between cyber being really a technology solution or a business differentiator.
Yeah, it is. It is a business differentiator, and I don't see, actually for me, as I was saying, I believe in cybersecurity to enhance the business. Never, you know, when I started security, the first 6 months, all I heard was, you know, I was the bad guy because I said, no, you know, because I didn't know anything about security. So I was saying, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then I realized, hey, how do I make the business trust me? I have to find a way to show them how they can do things better. I created a risk assessment team. I work with companies like Cisco and other. If you came to sell me a product, if you came to me, you couldn't sell me what you develop. I don't do that. I'd say, all right, this is what I would like it to do, and I will make you develop a product that the way I want it to work for me. And that's how I build security, so it works hand in hand. So this is why I say it's a business differentiator. If you have it from the start, but done properly, then you don't have to, worry about so much spending later, which is what we were going back and forth with. Most companies, all the companies that you see there, they got hacked. Yeah, they have millions of dollars in security, but they still got hacked. They smaller companies like your companies are getting hacked or in between, but it's about your brand being defaced also, which is important. It's the biggest thing is the brand, the customer. And this is where I say it's a business differentiator. If you get hacked, I don't trust you anymore. I don't want to do business with you. Still people here with Deutsche Bank. But that was a public relations, the way they handle it with their customers. It's also good if you know how to do that. They communicated to their customer that they had several issues, but a lot of people in the industry knew, in the cybersecurity industry, knew exactly how they were hacked, because I know it happened at Robobank, ING, and what's the bank from Credit Suisse, all at the same time.
All right, I would move additional questions to the end. Maybe you can approach Presley afterwards. Presley, thanks so much. Please.